Welcome back to Kruznik's Sanctuary and Pandemonium. Kruznik X along with Arya Stormborn.
Arya Stormborn is about to wring Culinarian's neck.
Corlash.
Yo.
And Lord Fyrax.
I am a prefect, and no that.
Last episode, we took down the... You know, I'm just going to call it the Phoenix from here on out because Phoenix just... feels weird to say.
But sounds funny.
It does sound funny.
Sounds wrong.
It does sound
Phoenix.
wrong. The Phoenix. Anyway, we took him down and found out that the true culprit of all this disaster and ruin is none other than the key ward of Asphodelos himself, Hesperos. And of course he's jealous of Erichthonios because I guess Erichthonios is La Habrea's son or some shit, so. But anyway, time to get through with this. Let's move on to the next quest. Who wards the warders? Much as I am loath to disturb Erichthonios so soon after what just occurred, I am afraid circumstances do not afford us the luxury of time. Perhaps it will do him well to speak about recent events, concerning both the key ward and his father. Let's hope he's talkative, or not so talkative that we take too much time, but yeah. The creation of the ward which surrounds Pandemonium was an outstanding feat of magical prowess. A feat accomplished by none other than La Habrea. That both my father and I can bind others in chains is perhaps the only thing that we have in common. Ah, so it is true. I am La Habrea's son. Bereft of his talent for magic or his brilliant mind, but his son nonetheless. Surely this doesn't come entirely as...
Buddy, I have a son!
Surely this doesn't come entirely as a surprise to you. Nay. I had an inkling when you said you had practiced ethereal shackles since childhood. Assuming you haven't been employed here quite that long, it had to indicate some long-held connection with La Habrea. 'Twas La Habrea that taught me how to cast ethereal shackles. But that was it. My further education was overseen by the words of La Habrea. More specifically, my mother, who was a researcher there. You did speak of Athena, chief key ward before La Habrea. She is your mother, yes? How astute. I can see now why you were chosen to lead this investigation. You have the right of it. Athena was my mother, and it was she who invited me to join her here. La Habrea had nothing to do with it. I see there is little love lost between you two. What I cannot see is why La Habrea was appointed chief key ward when another was already in place. Was in place. My mother is no longer with us. And La Habrea was all too eager to assume her responsibilities with nary a moment spared to mourn her. What love do I owe him now, when he offered not one drop of compassion then? Ah, I see. She is no longer with us. An expression to convey the end of a life. I have known only the public face of La Habrea. While he is lauded for his ability to maintain composure in the face of unnerving circumstances, I must admit that off he comes across as cold. Apologies, but can we speak of something else? This topic isn't an easy one for me to discuss. Of course. There are more pressing matters at hand, after all. Namely, how to deal with Hesperos. We have yet to see the other warders. Judging by what we know, we can surmise that Hesperos has confined them somewhere beyond our grasp. And now that he is aware of our presence, he will be preparing for our next encounter. We cannot expect to face him on equal footing. Quite the opposite, in fact. Every moment we spend chasing after the creations is another moment Hesperos can contrive another advantage for himself. The wisest course would be to find him first and foremost. He said that he has become one with the creations. Perhaps that means he is vulnerable to interment. In theory, that should be possible. However, is it enough merely to confine him after all he has done? I need to know why. I need to know what drove him to forsake everything he's worked for. Was it all truly so that he could serve his master? To my mind, he's merely put La Habrea's own work at risk in trade for some nebulous power. La Habrea is the chief keyword of Pandemonium. How would throwing it into disarray win his favor? It doesn't make any sense. I share your curiosity, but we must consider that our enemy has us at a disadvantage in every sense. What do you think? Should we seek to put him in fetters, or would it be too dangerous to allow him quarter? If you fail to confine him, I can always strike him down. Daring as ever, I see. I know not which trials you have faced in your past, but to see you so certain is all the convincing I need. Very well. Let us try Erichthonios' plan. Thank you, Chris. I believe I can shed some light on the nature of our foe. When Hesperos spoke with us, I noticed he bore the telltale fangs of the Echolakas, a beast which feeds off the ether of its prey. Likely, that is the creation Hesperos merged his essence with. And we know all too well that he can change the environment around himself at will. The battle will not be an easy one, but I believe in our victory. Alright, the fourth circle is open.
Okay, let's jump right in.
Take a second. Take a second. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here's the link. See you in the next episode.